There's a lot of news to go through. There's a whole lot of news to go through. So, before we get into this, I just needed to do an update because, I mean, people are talking about Ethan Klein suing people. People are talking about Israel and Iran. Meanwhile, 144 people are killed in Gaza simply for trying to get food. So what do we have here? Israel continues to carry out deadly attacks in Gaza with 144 bodies brought to hospitals in the last 24 hours and at least 70 Palestinians killed after Israeli forces opened fire on a crowd of Palestinians waiting for food assistance near Khan Yunis. So the idea that this has been allowed to go on after the first week when they killed like over 50 Palestinians who they defined as civilians is just unimaginable. This is some of like the worst crimes that you can imagine of starving a population and then offering them food at sites that you specifically state are for civilians. And then when civilians show up to try to get the food, your military kills them. It's like something a James Bond villain would do, like a more evil version of what Thanos did in Marvel movies. It's really otherworldly, the amount of evil and destruction that Israel is doing to the Palestinian people. We also have the death toll mounts in Gaza and hunger deepens. So people are talking about the amount of food that the Gaza Health Foundation has been distributing. I think I heard the White House press secretary say they delivered like 21 million meals, but that's been over the course of 3 weeks. That's like 7 meals a week, which equates to 1 million meals a day. And a country with a population of 2 million people, 1 million meals a day is not enough to keep people from starving. Like that is starvation conditions. So Israel's primary focus is now its war with Iran, but Israeli troops are still holding territory deep within Gaza. The House has voted yes to defunding public radio. Yeah, this country's going to fall apart when this bill gets through. So Medicaid is getting cut. Public radio's getting cut. This is straight out of the fascist playbook, by the way, cutting off independent radio. And the only type of media that is going to get any kind of funding from the state is going to be state media that is completely controlled and is basically state propaganda. So this is like straight out of the fascist playbook, and you were seeing it in real time with the defunding of NPR and PBS. It's like $1.1 billion to fund these groups, these organizations from the federal government. And yeah, it's like Donald Trump spends like almost $50 million on his birthday parade. And he's like $1.1 billion to NPR and PBS is too much. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Israeli attacks on Palestinians trying to reach food aid since March 27th had killed at least 400 people and wounded more than 3,000. According to Gaza's health ministry, which releases daily death counts. Those killed while seeking aid are among the ministry's overall death toll of nearly 55,500 people killed in the war. Israel says its restrictions on food and its continued blockade of other aid is to keep the items from benefiting Hamas. Of course, this excuse falls flat on its face. It's a way to do ethnic cleansing and the group holds an estimated 20 hostages still alive in the bodies of 33 deceased hostages taken in the deadly Hamas-led October 7th attack on Israel. I mean, the irony is like if Hamas released the 20 hostages that are still alive and is like, okay, go get food at these food aid sites, they'd probably get killed by the IDF. The aid restrictions have plunged families in Gaza into extreme hunger. The aid restrictions. 500,000 people in Gaza are now starving and the entire territory is at risk of famine. Yeah. I saw so many dead people. People began amassing late Monday afternoon in an area of Khan Yunis on a word that aid trucks were going to enter from Israel. The 32-year-old teacher walked from his tent encampment near the coast for several hours in the hopes of getting a sack of flour to feed his 4 children. Most of the time I try to distract my children when they talk of hunger until they go to sleep, he said, adding that often doesn't work. So I decided to go and take the risk and get some flour. Yeah, it's just so insane. Like you take the risk of getting killed by the IDF when you show up to the checkpoint where they say, come to this checkpoint and we're going to give you food. And don't worry, like this checkpoint is specifically designed so that Hamas won't go there. So like you're definitionally civilians, but we're still going to kill you. He and others slept on the road overnight waiting for the trucks. He said he was planning to grab a sack of flour off the trucks, but was also carrying equivalent of $170 to buy one from others there in case he couldn't get it on his own. Palestinian survivors and doctors say just before 9 a.m., the crowd swelled and moved closer to the main roundabout, which is in an area Israel has ordered evacuated. They say that's when Israeli drones fired onto the crowd. Artillery shells were also fired. Holy dude, they also fired artillery shells. Luckily for me, shrapnel did not hit me, but what actually fell over me were pieces of human flesh and bones. Bro, holy shit, they're barraging people with artillery that are just trying to get food. But as Ethan Klein would say, they were doing Hamas activities, right? Because it's a group of Palestinians walking towards Israelis. So Ethan Klein would say that that's Hamas-like activities, and so the IDF firing upon them is warranted. He returned to his family empty-handed, having barely escaped with his life. Videos from the scene show pools of blood and bodies on the ground, some still wearing empty book bags they'd hoped to fill with flour. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, once again, we're going to be talking about Ethan Klein here, and I just think that it's important to put all of his actions into the context of this act of we're seeing that he refuses to talk about because it makes his favorite country that he insists on doing propaganda for look bad. He loves to complain about how CPS went to his house and how that can be so traumatizing to children, and it makes him feel bad. It makes him feel like a failure as a parent. Meanwhile, it's like these people are unable to feed their children. I mean, they're spending days trying to just get a bag of flour, and they come back just covered in bones and flesh. Lucky enough to have not been hit by the artillery shells that Israel is firing upon people they specifically call civilians. It's so f***ed up. It's so f***ed up. But guys, consider signing up for memberships. It helps me out, helps my editors out. Only $1 a month, so it's really not a big deal. Your name can be green. That will be cool. And thanks for watching, everyone.